Most people are throwing their money away on things that lose value the second they swipe their card. But what if I told you there are 12 purchases you can make right now in 2026 that will actually pay you back tenfold in health, happiness, wealth, and time? Some of these are obvious, sure, but a few of them, especially number 8 and number 12, those are the ones that most people completely overlook and end up regretting later. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you are going to look at your spending completely differently. Let me be upfront with you. I am not somebody who spends recklessly. I am careful with my money. I think twice before buying almost anything. I have never been the type to chase brand names or impress strangers with flashy purchases. But I have also learned, sometimes the hard way, that being cheap and being smart with your money are two completely different things. There are moments where spending more is actually the frugal move. There are purchases that save you money in the long run, that protect your future, that give you back the one thing you can never earn more of, which is your time. So today, I am sharing 12 things that in 2026 are absolutely, positively, 100% worth the money. And I'm not talking about luxury splurges or status symbols. I am talking about things that genuinely improve the quality of your life in measurable ways. Let us get into it. Before we jump into this, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button so that this content reaches more people. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into it. Number 1 is your health. I know. You have heard this before. Everybody says invest in your health, but here is why I am putting it first and why it matters more in 2026 than maybe ever before. We are living in a time where the cost of being unhealthy has skyrocketed. Medical bills, prescription costs, lost productivity, all of it adds up in ways that most people do not fully appreciate until they are sitting in a hospital bed. When I talk about investing in your health, I mean the whole picture. A gym membership or a home workout setup, good shoes that actually support your feet and joints, regular checkups with your doctor, supplements where they make sense, therapy for your mental health, and most importantly, the food you put into your body. I started paying more attention to what I eat a few years ago, and the difference has been staggering. More energy, clearer thinking, better mood, better sleep. When you eat real whole food, when you read labels and avoid the junk, your body just performs at a higher level. And yeah, organic produce and quality protein costs more than the processed stuff. But think about it this way. People will happily pay $600 or $700 a month for a car payment, but then complain that healthy groceries are too expensive. People will drop money on concert tickets, on vacations, on clothes they wear once, but say they cannot afford a decent pair of walking shoes or a gym membership. The math does not add up. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through every single thing you do in life. Your career, your relationships, your ability to show up for the people you love, all of it runs on your health. When your health declines, everything else becomes harder. Everything. I did not fully understand that when I was younger. I thought I was invincible, but now I see it clearly. Every dollar you put toward your health is a dollar that pays dividends for the rest of your life. Number 2 is anything that buys back your time. This one is personal and it looks different for everybody, but the principle is universal. Your time is your most valuable asset. Full stop. And in 2026, there are more options than ever to reclaim hours of your day by paying someone else to handle tasks that drain your energy. Maybe for you that means hiring a lawn care service so you get your Saturday mornings back. Maybe it is a meal prep delivery so you are not spending 2 hours every Sunday in the kitchen. Maybe it is a cleaning service that comes twice a month so your house stays in order without you sacrificing an entire day to scrub floors. Maybe it is hiring a virtual assistant to handle your emails and scheduling. The key is figuring out what your time is actually worth and then making strategic decisions about where to delegate. Now, here is the important part. I am not saying outsource your entire life. You still have to be wise about this. You cannot just throw money at every minor inconvenience and call it a time investment. That is just reckless spending with a fancy label on it. What I am saying is that you should look honestly at where your time goes each week and identify the tasks that drain you the most while providing the least return. Those are the ones worth paying someone else to handle. Personal finance is personal. What I choose to delegate might be something you genuinely enjoy doing yourself, and that is perfectly fine. The point is to be intentional about trading money for time in ways that actually improve your life rather than just making you lazy. Number 3 is quality sleep. I cannot stress this enough. In 2026, we understand more about sleep science than at any previous point in human history, and the research is overwhelming. Poor sleep destroys your cognitive function, your immune system, your emotional regulation, your metabolism, basically everything. Yet most people are sleeping on mattresses they have had for 15 years and wondering why they wake up feeling like they got hit by a truck. Investing in a quality mattress, good pillows, blackout curtains, maybe even a temperature-regulating sleep system. These things transform the third of your life you spend unconscious, and that transformation carries over into every waking hour. When I sleep well, I think more clearly. I am more productive, I make better decisions, I am a better person to be around. When I sleep poorly, everything suffers. I get foggy, irritable, and unmotivated. And the compound effect of poor sleep over months and years is devastating. You do not notice it happening in real time, but it degrades your performance and your health slowly and relentlessly. A great sleep setup might cost you a couple $1,000s. Compare that to the cost of reduced productivity, poor health decisions, and medical issues that accumulate from years of terrible sleep. The investment pays for itself many times over. This is one of those areas where people try to save a few $100s and end up paying for it with their well-being every single night. Number 4, and this is one of my personal favorites, is real estate. A well-chosen investment property can generate income for you year after year, decade after decade. Real estate builds wealth in 2 ways simultaneously. You get monthly cash flow from rental income, and you get long-term appreciation as the property increases in value over time. Now let me be clear, I am not telling you to go buy the first property you find on a listing website. Real estate investing requires homework. You need to understand your local market, run the numbers carefully, factor in maintenance costs, vacancy rates, property management, and all the other variables that determine whether a deal is actually profitable. But when you do it right, when you buy strategically and manage the property wisely, real estate is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available to everyday people. Some of the best financial decisions ever made by ordinary families have been in real estate. Yes, there are risks. Yes, there are headaches. Tenants can be challenging, repairs are inevitable, and markets fluctuate. But over the long haul, well-chosen property has created more millionaires than almost any other asset class. If you are in a position to start exploring real estate as an investment, it is absolutely worth your money and your attention in 2026. Number 5 is professional expertise. Here is a mindset shift that will save you a fortune over the course of your life. You do not have to do everything yourself. In fact, trying to do everything yourself is often the most expensive approach. A good accountant can save you thousands of dollars in taxes that you would have missed on your own. A solid attorney can protect your assets and keep you out of legal trouble. A qualified financial planner can help you avoid costly investment mistakes and build a strategy that actually aligns with your goals. As your wealth grows, the complexity of your financial life grows with it. Tax planning becomes more nuanced. Legal structures become more important, and the stakes of making a mistake get higher and higher. Trying to be your own expert in every one of these areas is not just unrealistic, it is actually counterproductive. You are spending time learning things at a surface level when a professional who has spent years mastering that specific discipline could handle it better in a fraction of the time. I have seen people with significant net worth try to be their own attorney, their own tax strategist, their own financial planner, all to save a few $100s. And then they make a mistake that costs them tens of thousands. Sometimes the cheap route turns out to be the most expensive path. Paying for expertise is one of the smartest investments you can make because the right professional does not just solve problems, they prevent problems you did not even know were coming. Number 6 is estate planning. This is the one nobody wants to talk about, and that is exactly why it is so important. An estate plan might be the best $2,000 to $5,000 you ever spend in your entire life. Here is the reality. If you have children, if you own property, if you have retirement accounts, if you have any level of accumulated wealth at all, you need an estate plan. Without one, your assets could end up in probate, which is a lengthy, expensive, and public legal process that can eat away at what you worked so hard to build. A proper estate plan includes a will, one or more trusts structured to your specific situation, powers of attorney, healthcare directives, and beneficiary designations that are all aligned and up to date. These are not pleasant topics to think about. Nobody enjoys contemplating what happens after they are gone. But this is one of the most responsible and loving things you can do for the people you care about. You are essentially making sure that your wishes are carried out, that your family is protected, and that the wealth you built actually reaches the people you intended it for, instead of getting tangled up in court. Even if you only have $50,000 or $100,000 to your name, an estate plan is worth it. Do not make the mistake of thinking this is only for wealthy people. It is for anyone who has anything they want to protect and anyone they want to protect it for. Number 7 is books and continuous education. Let me tell you something about knowledge. It compounds. One idea from a single book can change the entire trajectory of your career, your finances, your relationships, or your mindset. And in 2026, the options for learning are incredible. Physical books, audiobooks, online courses, educational platforms, podcasts from experts who have achieved exactly what you are trying to achieve. The investment is almost laughably small compared to the return. A book costs $10 to $20. An online course might run you $100 or $200, but a single insight from that material, if you actually apply it, can be worth thousands or even tens of thousands over the course of your lifetime. I have read books that made me better at managing my money. I have read books that made me more productive. I have read books that helped me through difficult periods mentally and emotionally. The common thread among successful people is not that they are all geniuses. It is that they never stop learning. They are constantly feeding their minds, constantly seeking out new perspectives and strategies. Make a commitment to invest in your own education every single year. Read a book a month. Take a course on something that stretches your understanding. Attend a workshop that pushes you outside your comfort zone. The money you spend on sharpening your mind is money that will repay you in ways you cannot even predict yet. Number 8 is security and peace of mind. This one does not get talked about enough, but in 2026, it is more relevant than ever. We are living in a world where threats come from multiple directions, both physical and digital. Investing in your security means different things depending on your circumstances, but the principle is the same. You are paying to protect yourself, your family, and your information. On the physical side, that might mean a quality home security system, good locks, exterior lighting, cameras. These are not luxuries. They are basic protections that give you peace of mind every time you leave your house or go to sleep at night. On the digital side, cybersecurity has become absolutely essential. Identity theft, data breaches, phishing scams, these are not theoretical risks. They happen to millions of people every year, and they are getting more sophisticated all the time. Investing in identity protection services, using a quality password manager, securing your devices, these small expenditures can prevent catastrophic financial damage. Think about it. What is the cost of having your identity stolen compared to the cost of a security service that prevents it? What is the cost of a break-in compared to the cost of a camera system? When you frame it that way, security spending is not an expense. It is insurance, and it is absolutely worth every penny. Number 9 is quality furniture and everyday items. Here is something that took me a while to learn. If you use something every single day, quality matters enormously, and the math actually favors spending more up front. I am talking about your bed, your desk chair, your couch, your work setup, the shoes you wear daily. These are things that directly impact your comfort, your posture, your productivity, and your overall well-being for hours every single day. When you buy the cheapest version of something you use constantly, you end up replacing it over and over. That flimsy office chair breaks down in 6 months. That budget mattress starts sagging after a year. That cheap pair of shoes falls apart in 3 months. Over time, you spend more on replacements than you would have spent just buying the quality item once. But beyond the financial argument, there is a quality of life argument. Sitting in a chair that properly supports your back for 8 hours of work versus one that leaves you aching and stiff. That difference affects everything from your productivity to your mood to your long-term spinal health. Sleeping on a bed that actually provides proper rest versus one that you toss and turn on all night. That difference compounds into either vitality or chronic exhaustion over time. The rule I follow now is simple. For things I use daily, I buy the best I can reasonably afford. For things I use occasionally, I am happy to go budget. This approach has saved me money and improved my life simultaneously. Number 10 is experiences and travel. Here is what I have noticed about the things that actually make people happy long term. It is almost never stuff. It is almost always experiences. The trips you take, the adventures you share with the people you care about, the moments that push you outside your familiar routine and show you something new about the world or about yourself. Travel in particular has a way of expanding your perspective in ways that nothing else can. Seeing how people live in different cultures, navigating unfamiliar places, trying food you have never heard of, having conversations with strangers who see the world completely differently than you do. These experiences change you in subtle but profound ways, and the memories last forever. Think about the last 5 purchases you made over $1,000. Can you even remember them all? Now think about the last trip you took that really moved you. I bet you can recall the details vividly. That is because experiences create memories and growth, while most material possessions just fade into the background of your life. Travel does not have to be expensive either. You do not need 5-star resorts and first-class flights. Some of the most meaningful trips are road trips with friends, camping adventures, or budget travel through countries where your dollar goes far. The point is not how much you spend. The point is that you go, that you see, that you grow. In 2026, with remote work more common than ever, many people have the flexibility to travel while still earning income. If you have that option, take advantage of it. It is one of the best investments you will ever make in your own personal development and happiness. Number 11 is time with the people you love. I separated this from travel and experiences on purpose because it deserves its own spotlight. When everything is said and done, when you look back on your life from whatever age you end up being, the things you are going to remember are not the things you owned. They are the moments you shared with the people who mattered to you. And here is the painful truth. Time is the one resource you can never earn back. You cannot hustle your way to more hours with your parents. You cannot invest your way into getting those years with your children back once they have grown up. You cannot negotiate for more time with friends who move away or pass on. This is why spending money on quality time with loved ones is one of the most worthwhile expenditures that exists. And I want to be clear, it does not have to be extravagant. It is not about expensive vacations or lavish dinners, although those can be great too. Sometimes it is as simple as taking a day off work to be fully present with your family. Sometimes it is driving a few hours to visit a friend you have not seen in too long. Sometimes it is just creating the space and the margin in your life so that when your kid wants to play catch in the backyard, you are not too exhausted or too busy to say yes. A lot of people are so focused on building wealth that they neglect the relationships their wealth was supposed to serve in the first place. Do not be that person. Money is a tool. Time with the people you love is the actual treasure. And finally, number 12, the one that might surprise some of you, is peace and quiet. That is right. I am telling you that spending money on peace is one of the best investments you can make. What does that look like in practice? It might mean paying a little more in rent or mortgage to live in a calmer, safer neighborhood. It might mean investing in soundproofing for your home office so you can actually think clearly while you work. It might mean choosing a slightly longer commute to live somewhere with less chaos and more green space. It might mean saying no to certain social obligations that drain you and instead spending that money on creating a home environment that actually recharges you. As you get older, and I have seen this pattern play out again and again, the value of peace increases dramatically. When you are 20, you want excitement, noise, stimulation, action. When you are 35 or 40, you start to realize that your best thinking, your best work, your best relationships, they all happen in environments where you have calm and space to breathe. The world is louder and more demanding of your attention than it has ever been. Your phone buzzes constantly. Social media pulls at your focus. The news cycle is relentless. In the middle of all that noise, having a physical space and a life structure that allows you to experience genuine quiet is not a luxury. It is a necessity for your mental health and your productivity. Everybody is chasing more. More money, more followers, more stuff, more stimulation. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is chase less. Protect your peace. Create an environment where your mind can rest and where your best ideas have room to surface. That is worth paying for. So there you have it. 12 things that in 2026 are absolutely, completely, 100% worth spending your money on. Your health, time-saving conveniences, quality sleep, real estate, professional expertise, estate planning, books and education, security, quality everyday items, travel and experiences, time with loved ones, and peace and quiet. Notice a pattern here. Not a single thing on this list is about impressing other people. Not one of these 12 items is about status or appearances or keeping up with anyone. Every single one of them is about genuinely improving the quality of your life, protecting your future, and investing in the things that actually matter when the dust settles. Being smart with money does not mean never spending it. Being smart with money means directing it toward the things that create real lasting value in your life and cutting ruthlessly on everything else. The right purchase does not just improve your day, it reduces your stress. It gives you back your time. It strengthens your relationships. It protects your family. It sets your future self up for success. And when you approach spending with that mindset, money stops being something you hoard out of fear and becomes a tool you wield with purpose and confidence. Now, I want to hear from you. What is something you have spent money on that turned out to be completely worth it? Maybe it is on this list. Maybe it is something entirely different. Drop it in the comments below because I genuinely want to know. We can all learn from each other on this stuff. And if you found value in this video, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps more than you might think with getting this content in front of people who need to hear it. Share it with someone in your life who could use a reminder that smart spending is just as important as smart saving. Subscribe if you have not already, because I put out content like this regularly. And I want to help you build a life that is financially strong and personally fulfilling. Take care of the people around you, but make sure you are taking care of yourself too, because you deserve the same energy you give to everyone else. I will see you in the next one.